the Talmud is satanic. It's an awful book, right? I mean, like it literally says you can rape a girl who's like 3 years old. It literally says it.
No,
You
it's
know?
3 years in one day. Hello, dear friends of the truth. My guest today is Dr. Simon Goddek. Hello, Simon.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Yeah, we are both out of our home countries, so I'm feeling quite good. I think you feel quite good in Brazil, right?
Yeah, it's better than woke Europe. Much better.
Yeah. So you're known as one of the early COVID critics, but we don't want to talk about that. It's more about what can we do. I mean, it's all the political system. We are both libertarians, and we are, let's say, desperate because you can't vote yourself out of the mess. But what can the people really do?
Yeah, that's the one. That's what I'm talking about the whole time. So actually, I'm writing a book about this issue right now. It's a 27 chapter book, and I'm at chapter 17 now after half a year. So, I think, what can people do to to decouple themselves from the government? Because I mean, like the government is a tyranny usually, and it's, we have seen it during COVID. We have seen it whenever, with the flock cameras, with everything they tried to implement. So I think the most important thing is to inform yourself, to get rid of like legacy media. I think this is the biggest threat to our mind, right? I mean, like that's where they kind of plant seeds into your mind. That's how they scare you and and manipulate you. So that's literally the first step. The second would be, I think, it's try to own some land. Because once you own some land, you can harvest your own electricity via solar panels, for example. You can grow your own food. For example, a orange tree or whatever, it pays back, I think, more than 100 times within like 20 years, or even way more. Grow your own food, have chicken. So you don't need lots of land for this. I think I know 10,000 square feet is maybe enough, which is like 10. I think it's like around 1,000 square meters. It should be enough in order to have a small homestead. So that would be step number 2. And then, of course, we can continue, like, don't buy processed food stuff, cook your own stuff, or inform yourself which cleaning products you're using. Don't drink tap water. I mean, it depends on the country, of course, but in general, that's never a good idea because, of all the fluorides, estrogens, etc., that's in the water, all the hormones. You're literally consuming anti-conceptive pills as a guy. It probably makes you a faggot. So, yeah. So there are of course many more steps we can continue. Like we can go into medical freedom. Small tips like avoid using sunscreen. Check your vitamin D instead of swallowing thousands of meds that only profit the like big pharma. And yeah, so these are just a couple of ideas. Of course, I'm in my book. I'm gonna talk about 27 of those ideas, but these are some which I consider essential.
When do you think the book will be out?
I don't know. I have a very nice publisher. It's one of the most famous people on this planet. So yeah, I don't know. I have to finish writing it, and currently I'm installing my another 20 kilowatt peak of solar panels here on my property. So I hope I will continue typing next week, and I hope it's going to be done by August, September. Oh, it's already August, September. So it's saying 1 or 2 months. I hope it's going to be ready, maybe 2 months, and then of course it goes into they have to read it. I have to proofread it, and then it goes forth and back some iterations. So it should be early 2027, I hope. And it's going to be 800 pages. It's going to be like I don't want to call it the Bible, but it's going to be a big book.
Yeah, I know what big book means because my own last book is 1,200 pages in DIN A4, but then I made it so big and with so small letters that it fits into 500 pages. But
No, I
that's
was
where,
told 800 pages is the max. You can't go over it. So I'm trying to, I'm trying to hold myself back. So
but that's
I don't surpass.
it means it will be very thorough, and you're living it yourself. So I mean,
Yeah,
you really
yeah,
period.
yeah. I'm kind of living it. I mean, like, kind of. So the book will have like a score, and each chapter you can score yourself or like rate yourself, like on a scale from 1 till X. And then I don't get the high score on all of it, but I get a very high score, but I don't get the high score now.
Okay, okay. Give me an example where you do not have the highest score.
For example, I use Starlink, right? And I mean, people can track me with Starlink. I use a mobile phone. That's not a total independence, right?
Yeah.
So this kind of stuff. So
Okay.
it's little things. It's little things.
Yeah.
But of course,
My position on that is, as long as we don't have the fully totalitarian system, you can use these things. I mean, you communicate through that. You communicate to me through that. Of course, we are all surveillance, but we are not yet hunted down for growing your own food. Not yet. So
yeah, for example, energy independence. I didn't give myself the whole. I mean, like I have a 40 kilowatt peak solar system, and I have a stream here with water, but I didn't. I mean, like it's there. I have like the water system, hydro stuff, but I didn't connect it yet. For example, so I don't get the full score because, like, if you rely just on one source of energy, it's not really resilient, right? And also batteries could fail, etc. So there, nothing is perfect, and I mean, like, to get the full score is like almost impossible. But I mean, like, I don't get the full score, but I get a very, very high score. And I didn't test myself on all of them yet, but it's gonna be very interesting, and everybody can actually see. I'm on level 1 till 5, whatever of this part, and actually the book will tell you how to improve, how to get to the next part, how next step into the next level, how you can actually get more independent from your government. Also tax wise, nobody should pay taxes, and there are totally legal ways to pay zero taxes. Totally legal ways. I mean, people don't know, but it's totally legal. Still, I mean, like, maybe not in the future, but it's still legal not to pay taxes. So I don't like paying taxes. I pay the lowest taxes probably possible, at least of where I'm living, right? So, but I mean, I still don't get the full score. If I wanted to have the full score, I would ask for residency in Paraguay, create an offshore company on the Bahamas, and I would pay 0% instead of now 5%. So there are always ways to improve. I know the ways, but of course, it's always a matter of time, etc. But I will tell people, what they can do and the options, and it's always, it always depends on the person, on everything. So if you, for example, live in Alaska, there, to be super self-sufficient, self-sustainable is like a totally different story than living in the jungle in Brazil. But I live in 1,500 meters, so here it can get -degrees Celsius, right? And I have different situation than people who live like maybe 100 kilometers away on the sea, where it's 8 degrees Celsius warmer, and they have, again, different conditions. And or when you just cross the border to the next country, I don't know, in Europe, for example, if you live in Belgium, I think you pay more than 50% of tax. Then you go to Luxembourg, where you pay far less. So it's like, it always depends on the location of the person. So I can't say like, okay, this is your solution, but there are always solutions, and which is important. And governments never want the best for you. They always want the best for themselves, for the system, for those working for the government, or for the for the whole machinery.
Exactly. I think one of the most difficult things for people is the mental state. I hear it so often. We have a resort in the Philippines, and I hear it so often, I can't emigrate. I can. And what you just described, theoretically, everybody could do that. And land is not expensive. I don't know what you paid, but if you're off grid, the land is usually not expensive. So and everybody
land is super cheap here. I mean, like super cheap, as in super cheap. And I'm like I'm in the mountains. It's like buying land in the Alps. So here it's way more expensive than going a bit more. I think it's I know. So in Brazil, usually if you wanna live a bit inland, it's for approximately 4 hectares they pay 10,000 euros.
Yeah,
it's 2,500 euros per hectare.
Right. And
yeah,
that's
I don't know. It's maybe the price per square meter in a city in Germany.
Right. And that's the same in the Philippines. Of course, you're not on the seashore then, but it's cheap because land is not really scarce. I wrote it in my first book. There are not much people on the planet. We think that, but if you calculate it, it's like it's very little. So the people just think they cannot do it, and of course, some of the people might say, "Yeah, but I don't want to grow my own food," and so on. So maybe take the fear away from them that they can't do it. Is it? I mean,
I think many people have issues with their jobs. They have a job in the city, and I think they can't do anything, remote. But there are so many possibilities. But anyways, if you have a fixed job and you have it for like 20, 30 years to start over again, I think that might be difficult. But there's always a way, and even if it's like to join a garden corporation, somewhere. Where you can just grow food with others. And I mean, there are always possibilities. You don't have to emigrate to another country in order to do this. There are local possibilities as well. And everybody should be aware of this. So if you want to grow your own food, if you want to have your own chicken, there are ways that are cheap and that are available wherever you live. You just have to look for them.
Yeah.
So for example, my parents, my parents are beekeepers, and they have land there, obviously, but they don't have lots of land. So they want to eat healthy food. So they own half a cow somewhere. So they know a farmer, I think 50 kilometers away, and they're like, okay, they invest in a cow, and when the cow gets slaughtered, whatever, they get half the cow. There are always possibilities, right? They know they get the best meat ever, and once per year, the freezer is going to be full, and these possibilities exist. And just people have to be aware of it. And
it's an interesting model. Yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah, it totally makes sense. And then you know what you eat.
Exactly.
So,
They can even go there and pet the cow if they want to. My parents don't, because they would be friends. They would feel bad eating it. But
right.
That's from farm to fork. Without all these steps in between, where stuff gets ultra processed.
Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go to the cow because I couldn't eat it then. It's like in the what was the book, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where the pig talks to the hero or something.
I never watched it.
Yeah, it's a book series. It's great.
Oh.
It's very, very humorous.
I never read it then.
Yeah. There's also a film. But the film, of course, is not as good as the book, as we know. As writers, we know that. We just had a German conversation, and you said your first book sold like 2 million times, right?
Yeah.
And
I have it here. Look.
Yeah.
It's this one. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
It's published by Springer Nature.
Yeah.
And it's just about aquaponics. I'm the editor here. It's let me see how many pages, 600, 700 something. And it's open access. It's open access. So it's like not all of them were sold. Many of them were sold. Mm-hmm. But you also can get the ebook. I think the ebook's for free. So it's like more than 2 million copies, digital or real copies, were downloaded or purchased, which is a lot. I think I'm in the top 3 in the history of Springer Nature.
It's a very specialized topic, so it's. I'm wondering that so many people.
Many people are interested in this topic. Many people. It's like totally a trend. I don't get the trend because I actually don't believe in the topic, even though I think I'm the most known scientist in this topic, at least with the most citations and etc. But Yeah, so my focus were more bioreactors. How do you remineralize like waste if you, for example, want to have a colony on Mars or totally remote in the Namib Desert or something, in order to not lose the nutrients and reuse it for food production. So yeah, this was more my part. I don't have a green thumb, even though I'm living here in the middle of nowhere and I grow my own food. I'm not very good at it. I mean, like I have sufficient food, but I think other people would like grow way more than I do, having better skills. But yeah, I'm more like, the tech dude. And anyways, this book was like the bestseller, like literally their flagship book, I guess. Yeah, it's a nice one. It actually gives all the information. So, but it's like that's my past life. I think the book is from 2019 or something, or 2020 or something.
Do you think we have anything on Mars? I mean, I don't mean people, but where they're really, how's it called? Yeah, were they really there? How's it called? The robots and so on. Do you think that?
I think they put the robots there.
Yeah. Because because we have the topic. I talked to a guy who is or was a helicopter pilot in the Antarctica. And he is convinced they shoot all the footage in that there.
Oh, wow. I'm convinced we haven't been to the moon. But, I mean, like, that's a different topic. But I think the Mars robot, I think most likely they put one there. But you never know, right? But, like, that's like, speculations. But I suppose. So, otherwise, Elon Musk wouldn't like, continue with his plan to put people there. He would probably continue with the plan to put a robot there. But I mean, like, it's just what I think, what I believe. Who will ever, we will never know the truth unless you're part of this Mars program and you have access to primary data.
Exactly, that's a big problem. I mean, I agree. You would think, why does he spend so much money for it? But it could be a cover for building Skynet. And just tell the people, well, it's about going to Mars. And in reality, he builds Skynet. And on the one hand, he also says libertarian things, shares Austrian economics and so on. But on the other hand, he's in favor of a general basic income. So it's hard to figure out that guy. What's your opinion in general about Elon?
I don't know. I think he probably is a good person in what he believes in, what he doesn't. I think once you are so rich, you're kind of also corrupted. You can see, for example, he was like saying, fuck the ADL, and the next day he was literally on a plane to Auschwitz with Ben Shapiro. And then he was to Israel to see all the propaganda, like where he looked into this toddler's bed, and and Genial was showing him, and he's supporting this tribe sensibly. And then you have him saying like, okay, we are, pro freedom of speech. And then in the next sentence, he's like, yeah, freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom of reach. And I'm like, what the heck? So there, he makes many statements. Then like, okay, these are contradictory. For example, also he's like against mass immigration, but like whole Star X and X is full of Indians. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, he probably has his reason, and like, he's a free person. He's free to do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, but he also does it with the help of the government. You can never forget that, because he needs to be licensed and all of that. And I think that's also a big problem. Or another example, he said Trump is in the Epstein files, and then later, didn't say that. I think he deleted it even.
He deleted it, yes. And he also was for Doge, or the Department of Governmental Efficiency. And he was pushing it really hard, and he was like super disappointed that Trump was getting rid of it. So I think he's trying. He has his heart at the right place. But as you said, like, in order to get public money, in order to get, to continue doing his business, he also has to comply to some degree. And that's what he's probably doing. But I think there are much worse people than him. So I think he's one of the good guys. Of course, there's a lot you can criticize, Brain Link, whatever it's called. But I mean, like, maybe he has good intentions, but we don't know, right? We don't know. But eventually we'll see whether he has or not. And eventually, at the end, he got Twitter. He bought Twitter, and we got all our voices back. So I don't owe him, but I'm very grateful that he got it. And one of his first actions was like to reinstate my account and of other scientists and MDs in December 2020, whatever it was, 3 I think, or 2022.
Okay, you also lost your account. So for how long?
1.5 years.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's also what I'm saying. I mean, it's better than before. It's like we have to use what we get, and
yeah. Now you can use all the slurs. The N slur, the K slur, the F slur, all these slurs we can use right now, and there's no consequence.
Yes.
On Twitter 1.0, you just said like, "Oh, faggot," and they would kick you off.
Yeah.
Now it's the most used word probably on the platform. So, it's freedom of speech, and that's important.
Speaking of lobbies and the government, what's your opinion on Trump and the Iran war? Because you always also tweet about it, so that's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, it's like AIPAC is controlling him, or Miriam Adelson, all the Zionists, they're in control. So I think probably personally behind closed doors, Trump is not a big fan of whatever's going on, but he's like probably more or less forced to do whatever he's doing. Maybe they got his files, maybe some videos, maybe some written statements, or whatever he has done in the past, which was stupid. And he probably knows Israel has them because Epstein was an Israeli asset. Yeah. And if you look at the people who are like putting pressure on him, like Mark Levine, Ben Shapiro, Laura Loomer, they're all from the tribe. And then, of course, you have Lutnick, who's always watching him, who has been Epstein's neighbor and lives Epstein's island. He's been lying about this. There was even a mask of Lutnick, found on Epstein Island, probably used for raping children. A mask.
A mask for Lutnick?
A mask, yeah. Not a face mask, but like a mask that shows Lutnick's face. Was it the wall of on Little Sam James? So it's like, you have to look it up. Look up mask, Lutnick, and super creepy.
Wow, yeah, I will look it up because, I'm really into the topic, but I missed that one. Okay.
Yeah.
I will look it up. Yeah, I mean, Lutnick is also the guy who had this incredible luck that he was not...
September 11th. There's one day he wasn't working, just like Larry Silverstein and all the other people from that tribe. Yeah. Yeah, lucky people.
Yeah,
God's chosen.
Yeah, I think that's what chosen means. Exactly.
Don't show up at work this one day. That's smart. Yeah.
And that was also a strange occurrence because Donald Trump made fun of that. Did you see that?
Yeah. And he was laughing behind him like, "Ha, funny." Yeah. I've seen it.
I mean, sometimes you think that they want to tell, they want to shove it in our faces. Yeah, that one day he brought it, and it was not even school beginning. I looked that up. Yeah, it might be because it's a private school that you can on that day, but it was not the official beginning of the school. Yeah? So the whole story is totally bogus. And he knew, of course, Epstein and Silverstein, and I mean, it's ridiculous. This was a coincidence, and he's still Secretary of Commerce. After it came out that he lied about the Epstein thing. I mean, it's incredible.
And I've never visited this island. Then like, he visited this island several times with his children. There are pictures of him. Wow, there's a mask of him. What the fuck? And he's still there. It's because he's probably Trump's handler. He and Miller, and maybe Kushner as well. So actually, literally, there are 2% of the American population, 0.2 worldwide, and like the whole cabinet, or everybody who's like close to Trump. Even Laura Loomer, who's a nut job, she's like insane. She has access to the president. Why? It's weird. It's weird. Nobody who's like super based, easygoing. Mark Levine. What the fuck? Like Trump is like praising him on Truth Social the whole time. Oh, you should watch this show. He's a legend. He's a legend. He's a fucking Zionist. He's a warmonger. He's always like, let's bomb them, let's nuke them. How is this a legend? So, I mean, like, Mark Levine drives me crazy, so I blocked him. I had to block him. I was like literally raging on every post. And, now I'm doing the same with Rabbi Shmuley,
So,
Rabbi butt plug.
Yeah. Yeah, you had but first you blocked him.
I blocked Mark Levine because he was driving me. He was all over my timeline. I like muted him, and he was still there. And I was rationing him every single day. Rationing him. I was like, okay, but this guy is a nut job. He's like a Mossad, whatever he is. And I just had to block him. And after I blocked him, Rabbi Shmuley popped up everywhere. I'm like, what is this algorithm? All these people I don't want to see, they pop up.
Yes.
So yeah. Rabbi Shmuley.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is the worst rabbi in the world. So if there are even other rabbis who say, well, this guy
they're almost all rabbis, in my opinion, are like fucked up. But this guy is super fucked up. He's selling butt plugs with his daughter. Like, how fucked up do you have to be to do this? And he allegedly killed Michael Jackson. People say, I don't know if I can believe this, but he was very close to Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he was, but I never heard that.
Yeah, I know. Allegedly, I said allegedly, right?
Very
yeah, but it's weird. It's weird. Like, why? Why is he like close to all these people? And why does he have connections? Like he can talk to everybody in the world, every world leader right away. He visits, the Pope. He visits the Pope whenever he wants. Like a person who's hated by everybody. Just like look at his timeline. Whatever post he makes, he gets like ratioed by even an account with one follower. So he's hated by. He just went to Iceland. He was hated by the whole country, and he's whining. He's like, "Oh, they want another Holocaust." Like, what the heck? Maybe it's your behavior, little fuckhead. It's no. This guy is fucking insane. Anyways, but he's waking people up. He's waking people up.
Yeah, but that leads us back to the health topic, because he's also friends with Bobby Kennedy, and he doesn't do anything. I mean, they just they got the permission for the mRNA vaccine. I mean, how is that possible? I mean, this guy knows that there is no evidence for any vaccine, let alone mRNA.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy, isn't it?
It is. And there are many pictures of Shmuley and RFK, even in front of a Schneerson portrait. And Schneerson, probably the most fucked up rabbi in history. So, I don't know. It's super weird. It's like as if this tribe is controlling everything. But then in Germany would say it's like, on Europe would say it's like this, the world jury conspiracy theory. But it's just like what I'm observing. I'm just noticing. And like, just look at Rabbi Shmuley, and then you're like, he's so fucked up. If I made such fucked up comments the whole time and I behaved like this, everyone would say you're nut job. Nobody's going to talk to you. But he has access to every powerful person in the world. Probably but Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin, but everybody else, he can just like walk into the door. He can visit the Pope whenever he wants. Who is he?
Yeah,
Who is this guy?
Maybe even Putin, because he's Chabad-Lubawitsch, and Putin is like Donald Trump, connected to Chabad-Lubawitsch. So these guys are everywhere.
On the other hand, Putin is criticizing Chabad-Lubawitsch as well. So Trump would never do this publicly.
Oh, I didn't see that. He fired one guy.
I will send you a link, yes.
Okay, good. Maybe we put it at the end of the video, because I only saw that he fired one guy that was critical of Chabad-Lubawitsch, but and he basically grew up with them. But anyways, back to Bobby Kennedy. What's so sad about it is that it's very clear. I made videos about it and I wrote about it, that Israel is behind the murder, or at least involved in the murder of JFK, his uncle, and his father, because there's the connection to the Cosa Nostra. Mickey Cohen, he was on the horse racing track where the supposed killer Sirhan also worked. So there's these connections, and Bobby Kennedy has to know that because he's very deep into the topic, because he officially said, Sirhan was not, the only shooter and so on. So I don't know. I would hate these people, and if they blackmail me, I would hate them even more. But he's really rubbing shoulders with.
Did you ever think about that he was a plan since the beginning? Because I mean, I've been calling RFK out a lot, since the beginning of the. So, for example, I was going through his old posts on Facebook. I mean, I don't have Facebook, but in the a couple of years ago, you could still like see everything. And he was, for example, saying everybody who's denying climate change should go to jail, stuff like this. So really weird stuff.
Yeah, I saw that. That was in Berlin.
Yeah, and even for example, it was in Berlin, yes. And even this book, the real Fauci, whatever, it's like he didn't write it. He did not write it. He's a gatekeeper. He had someone else write it. So I think during the pandemic he wrote like 12 books. I don't know how he do this. I mean, like, he's been everywhere, he's super busy, but he can write 12 books. I mean, like, he has his ghostwriters. I know who they are. I can't tell on camera, but I mean, like, I know who's writing the books for him. And he's just gatekeeping. And also there's this what happened during the pandemic is like he was throwing a party at his home and only vaccinated people were allowed to attend.
That's
they just said, because of my wife, etc. If my wife said it, I would get divorced right away. So like, or either we don't have a party like this, are you fucking insane, or let's get divorced. You're a nut job. So, but he was like, okay, well, yeah, okay, only vaccinated people can attend. Like, what the heck? So I think he's controlled a position. It's just my opinion. But I mean, like, what do you see now that he's like approving all this stuff and whatever he said, like, oh yeah, whenever I get the position there, and then they're not going to be any big pharma commercials on TV. I will stop with all these mRNA shots, and like, nothing is happening. Nothing.
Absolutely. And with the food pyramid, I mean, everybody can search for themselves that what you said before, that it's all unhealthy. You don't need to change the fucking food pyramid for that. I mean, what's that for?
Who is looking at the food pyramid and saying like, okay, well, I'm going to eat like this? Nobody. And, the food pyramid, literally the bottom is like, oh, eat lots of gluten, right? And the top part is like, only eat a little bit of butter and a little bit of meat. But actually, this should be like the basis. But I mean, anyways, if he were serious, he would talk about this a bit more, but he doesn't. So I don't know what else to think about him and whatever he's doing. Nothing makes sense. But if you check the pictures of him and Rabbi Shmuley, maybe it starts making sense.
Yeah. So there is a clear, to say it more precisely, there's a clear over-representation of these people in media and in government. When did you start to notice that? I don't know when. Every of your tweets.
Oh, I note. Yeah, I'm noticing everything every day. I'm that's my life, noticing things. I'm a scientist, right? So if you have a pattern, then you have an outlier. You're noticing the outlier, and like this is what's happening in this case as well. So I've been very much pro-Israel until, I don't want to say it lately. It shifted with the time. So once I was like, when I was, I think 18, I was watching a documentary on the German-French TV station Arte, which was about like Israelis cutting off the water for the Palestinian farmers, so they couldn't water their olive trees. And I was like, what the heck is going on? So this was like some waking up, and then you wake up every time a bit more. Then you learn about what's happening in the West Bank, about the settlers. But like, still, I was more in favor of Israel. But I was not like a hardcore pro-Israel fan. I was just like, I was like, growing up in Germany and the Netherlands, I don't know how many Holocaust movies I had to watch during school time. So I probably watched all of them. You always felt like sorry for these people. And, but at some point you notice like, they behave like everything they opposed or are opposing. So it starts to... Yeah, so I don't have any more. So the sympathy is kind of, fading. And... yeah, now it's just like, I think these people, the Zionist Jews, are the most evil people on this planet. I'm saying Zionist Jews because they're good Jews as well. I have very good Jewish friends who totally share my opinion, right? But Zionist Jews for me are scum, nothing else. Evil people. But, but there are also other evil people. But these people, if you just check this tribe or Chabad-Lubawitsch in general, which has like more than 95% are supporting everything that's happening there, and it's just evil. And then people are like, oh, but the Nazis in Germany, I think how many people voted for them? 35% or something. It's like a big difference, 35%, 95%. So, it's just noticing some patterns, and also who's attacking me and others and in what way. So during COVID, it was nasty, but the way these people are attacking me and others is like a totally different level of nastiness.
Yeah.
It's just like evil. So they, they're like trying to destroy, like they're saying what they do with the poor Palestinians who've been living there for thousands of years. And we know, fun fact, these Palestinians are actually the real Semites. So if you do a DNA test, they share the DNA with like people who lived in Judea, etc. But at some point they just converted to Islam, And now people, Ashkenazi, Eastern Europeans, are like, oh no, but we it's our, it's our religion, so God promised us this land. So actually the people who've been living there for thousands of years, they're being genocided for their supremacy, based on the Talmud, which is a book which is much worse than Mein Kampf. So one book is illegal and the other one isn't.
I have to think now if I have to cut that out. But
no, it's fine. I mean, like I can debate everybody who's like saying it's not like this. Mein Kampf is a harmless book.
No. For my,
oh yeah, sorry. Just do beep 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 beep. Just put a beep in there. I guess let's see. Don't cut out. I mean, like the Talmud is satanic. It's an awful book, right? I mean, like it literally says you can rape a girl who's like 3 years old. It literally says it.
No, it's 3 years in one day.
Yeah, sorry. And 3 years in one day.
Yeah, that's why. But no, you can say in general, these topics are all in my book. I have the Talmud quotes in my book, but you always have to be careful, with comparison in Germany. That's why I'm there. But this is another topic because it's not only Chabad-Lubawitsch. That's one sect, but it's the whole Talmud. And in my opinion, even the Old Testament, that's a bigger topic of my book. So if you read the Bible, the Israelites commit one genocide after the other. And they even justify now, they are talking about Amalek, Benjamin Netanyahu is talking about Amalek, but it's in the Old Testament that God or Yahweh said, kill all the children. I mean, in my opinion, the problem lies deeper. And
much deeper. Okay,
and in a sense, the Reformed Judaism tried to deal with that. They said, the Orthodox Judaism is a little bit crazy, but the Reformed Jews are lefties. So you have these two big groups. The ones are lefties, and the others are genocidal. That's why people say, that there comes nothing
but
good.
But both have a negative impact on society. Can we agree with this? Yeah.
Yes.
But there are also Torah Jews. So I'm talking to like a rabbi here on Twitter. He's a Torah Jew. He's like, the Talmud doesn't play a role in their lives. So these are decent people. But okay, there are many streams in Judaism, but we know the vast majority is like considers the Talmud a very important or like basis of Judaism, and the Talmud is the worst book I think existing. But it's like, I don't know, maybe there are worse books I haven't read yet, but I mean, like it's really scary what's in the Talmud. It's really scary, and people don't know. And then you have Ursula von der Leyen saying, "Oh, Europe is based on the values of the Talmud." I'm like, what the fuck, you fucking pedophile, right? Yeah. So it's I probably didn't know what she was talking about, just like Or you have Merz like standing there crying with his wearing a kippah and. Stop this bullshit, right? I mean, like, just call out what's evil. It doesn't matter who's committing evil. If it's like Muslims committing evil, call it out. If it's Christians committing evil, call it out. If it's Jews committing, you can't call it out because anti-Semitism, right? So, but like, it's an hypocrisy, and I think like everybody should be allowed to call out evil, no matter who is committing the evil, and that's what I'm standing for. So,
yeah, and that's also, I think, where the noticing starts for many people, that they say, okay, why can't I criticize this one group which commits obvious atrocities to Israel as a state, and you are immediately labeled an anti-Semite. I mean, I just answer when I'm labeled that, an X now, I just say it doesn't work anymore. I mean, too many
No, it
people are.
doesn't. So what I'm doing since, I have a friend, Germ Warfare. I mean, no Germ. He has a huge podcast, and he's like, whenever someone is telling him like you're this and that, you're racist, he just replies with "I know." And people are like,
What?
there's nothing that whenever people tell me, "Oh, you're a Nazi," obviously as a libertarian, it's very difficult to be a Nazi. But anyways, if there's a Nazi, I'm like, yeah, I know. So what? Like, game over. So what are they about to say then, right? Like, hey, okay, this doesn't work. So same with the anti-Semite, it doesn't work anymore. So now they call it Jew haters or
Yes.
Jew. That's what they use now. The Jew hating people, and that's actually even I mean, like maybe it's even precise because anti-Semite means actually hating people who are Semites, which means like hating Palestinians, which is like super inaccurate. But also calling someone a Jew hater. Nobody hates someone because he's a Jew. You would hate someone because he behaves like an asshole. If he's Jewish by chance, okay, well, just don't act like an asshole. You can't just always say like, yeah, I can behave like an asshole because I'm Jew. And once they are noticing I'm an asshole, I just accuse them of Jew hatred. So I mean, like, it doesn't work like this, right? So I mean, at one point, when you get insulted on social media, and my account size, unfortunately, leads to many insults per day. At some point, I'm just like ignoring this. I'm like, okay, whatever, just go on. Just call me names. Is there anything you didn't call me yet? Maybe you want to call me faggot as well. But I'm at this point right now, so I don't mind. They can call me whatever they want.
What do you say that Israel is also, reaching out to South America where you live? We talked about it in the German interview. Javier Milei is going to the wall there, and even the maybe next president.
All the Bolsonaros go to the wall as well. Yeah, everybody's going. Everybody's kissing the Roman wall. I always call it the Roman wall. It triggers them.
Yeah, because it is.
Because it's a Roman wall. Yeah.
So it's amazing, right? You look at that, and all the people we like more because of the politics. Yeah, we are not left. We are libertarians, but it's nearer to, especially Javier Milei. I mean, he's the most libertarian ever in the history of mankind, and he's also a wall kisser. How does that work? That they always pick these people who get presidents. How does that work?
Well, Javier Milei, and what's Netanyahu's father's surname, Milei. I think they're second or third grade cousins. So, there's that.
I think it's not sure, but
don't you think so?
I try to confirm that, but I couldn't confirm it. Doesn't mean that it's not true, but I also was on the train with the name. I couldn't confirm it. Let's
anyways, it would be a weird coincidence to have like Milejkovskis. How many Milejkovskis are there, right? But anyways, it's odd. But I think it's even worse that Milei visited Chabad-Lubawitsch headquarters in New York. Yeah. So this is like, to me, a red flag. Even though I support his policies for Argentina, it was a good thing for Argentina so far. But he's a wall kisser, so I wouldn't vote for wall kissers.
I mean, that alone is just, if somebody kissed the wall, I can't vote for him. He's not for his people, for his country. I mean,
so I tell you something. I have a friend in the United States, and he has a very huge following on X. A huge following, like huge. Yeah. And he was in a party in Miami, and someone took him in the back rooms, like, people with little hats, and they were like, "Oh, don't you want to run for Congress?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Oh, we can get you into Congress, no problem. You get in there, we take care of the rest." And he's like, "Who is we?" And I'm like, no. It was like, "Tell me more." And they're like, "Yeah, the only thing you would have to do is go on a plane with us to Israel and kiss the wall." That's what they told him, and then we will get you into Congress. And he, being critical of Jewish people, and they didn't know, he was like, just like, go and fuck yourself. So these people have that much power that they can literally, get people into Congress. And we know who they are. It's AIPAC. It's like, They do we that's how they got even this Ed Galrein winning against Thomas Massie, probably the most beloved politician in the United States. They even got Ed Galrein, like a total loser who didn't do any debate. They got him into Congress. Or Randy Fine, like the fat genocidal pig. They got all these losers in there, and like that's how much power they have. And after this person, I would, I promised him to not tell the name, but he told me the whole story. I think it's a 30-minute story about like how they got him into the back room, and I was like, wow, this is what they probably do with every single person. That's how they control the United States of America and the Congress and all the politicians.
Yeah, and most likely, first they send you to Israel to kiss the wall, but then they give you go on parties with you. Then it's a young girl.
You have your APEC person. Even everybody has their APEC persons, or usually two APEC people. They're called APEC people.
Yeah.
So usually a congressman of two, and they're always with you, always with you. So
like a shadow.
Yeah, it's like a shadow, like this propaganda poster that the Nazis had with them behind a curtain, right? So it's like this in the United States. So even Thomas Massie was talking about this publicly. He was like, yeah, they all have APEC people. They all do. Like 85% of Congress. They tell them, okay, that was like, oh no, do this, do that, do this, do that, well, this or that, or that. So yeah, if I were American, right, and I would pay for education that much and for healthcare, like huge amounts that actually can bankrupt you. And I would see, like, our Congress members are sending billions to Israel so they don't have to pay for education and healthcare. I would be mad. But, most of them are like continue to vote for the slaughterer. So they just, for the butcher, I think it's a butcher. So they just continue voting for these people. But I mean, like, I think right now people are waking up, at least in slow motion, and people actually see what's happening. So many people that I'm in contact with, there are some that used to be super pro-Israel, and now they ask me questions and like, okay, is this true? Is this true? Is this true? And they figure out like all these quotes that rabbis made, and they're like, this can't be true. And then they look it up, and it's all true. And even they are waking up. So I have like two friends who were super pro-Israel, like 99%, and now they are on our side. within weeks. So if this is possible for them, as Zionists, if you can turn out a Zionist and it's a hardcore belief and make them an anti-Zionist, and I think everybody else can be. And I think it's going to happen more sooner or later. But first, in the United States and Europe, it's going to be a big taboo still because of of the Holocaust, of course.
Yeah, and I think that's also something you have to give Elon Musk, because all these rabbi quotes, I mean, they say all the things out in the open, but you can find it usually, and now on X you can find, I mean, they are all shadow banned, I'm shadow banned, and so on, but still you can find it. And that's the beginning. If you hear them talk, I mean, it's crazy. And then you just look, and there's even a website about the Talmud, sepharia.org. Not everything is in there, because I researched from my book, and sometimes it says, it could be misunderstood, so we don't translate it, but it's still enough there. Sepharia.org. And
I know it. And you can actually just translate the Hebrew right into English as well with AI, and then you see what it says.
Yeah, but the Hebrew translations, okay, I didn't try with. I tried with people, for example, and it didn't give me something the sense. But maybe I try new. But you
try Grok. Try Grok. It's
no, you can't try Grok anymore. I call him Shlomo only, because in the Israel topic, he totally flipped. The last year or something.
Yeah, try uncensored.ai.
What?
Uncensored.ai.
Yeah. Did you try it? I saw it.
I know the owner, so it's really working well. Yes.
Okay, because sometimes, that their summary seems to be, because I watch it. I don't want to, say bad things about them, because they are doing a good, important project. But sometimes, for me, the summary I see is biased towards us. Wouldn't you say? It's like it's like the worst points. They give you the worst possible scenario. If
yeah, it could be.
So I don't know how they do it, how they program it. Do they say, okay, just take our side instead of? I mean, Grok was said to be not neutral, but he isn't anymore. Maybe he was.
He used to be very neutral. That's why he called himself Mecca Hitler.
Yeah, that was the worst. Or about the topic you just talked about, he suddenly had another opinion 1 or 2 years ago, but we can't talk about that. Okay, yeah. So back to where we came from in the beginning. So if you want to, if you're fed up by the Israel lobby, you have to be one of the many reasons that you have to be self-sufficient. And yeah, last words for you.
My last words. Usually last words something like "I'd do it again" or something. I don't know. I'm super tired.
What's important what we didn't talk? What's important what we didn't? I mean, for the viewers, we did 2 interviews today in German and English, so you don't remember what you said. But what's on your mind? What do you want to say to our viewers?
I'm tired. No, it's usually I go to bed at 9 p.m. Now it's like midnight. Because usually I get up usually on 4. I go to the gym, etc. But like the time difference between Philippines and Brazil is like crazy, so I had to stay up, and yeah. So I don't know what else I can say. Like every podcast, like the final words, I'm always like, okay, I'm lost. I don't have any final words. I'm just like saying I'm tired right now. I want to go to bed. Yeah.
Good. That's also a good closing because it's true. And I just
it's true.
I stood up very early, and you stayed up very early. Thank you very much for that. I hope it was not our last conversation.